Firstly, a warm welcome to you on Filmy Shilmi. It's delightful to be in conversation with you today. I just wanted to congratulate you because the year 2020 has been quite great for you, I think, professionally. I mean, personally, ka to pata nahi, sabka matlab, it's been a very difficult year, actually. I think we've seen some great work coming from you. You had She, 100, and now recently you had The Missing Stone as well. How satisfying is it for you, as an actor to do some great work and become a familiar face with the audiences?
First of all, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me here on the show with you, and thank you for the warm wishes. As for on the professional front, as you were saying, how satisfying it is. I think it is very much quite satisfying. Quite satisfying. Uh, to have like two big projects and two big projects, and even I'd say 100 was also. Even though I just had like a small appearance in it, but I still got noticed. So I'm very much satisfied and happy with how 2020 turned out to be professionally for me. And I would say I'm still not a very familiar face, but I am the phase of becoming a familiar face is now
Yeah.
starting off, is what I would say. So
Hmm.
I look forward to becoming a familiar face in the upcoming months and the upcoming years. And I feel happy. I feel satisfied. I feel it was long due. So better late than never.
Right. Absolutely. In fact, your earlier screen appearances was in Tugs of Hindustan, before we
Right.
saw you in Z5's Bombers, actually. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
So in today's day and age where opportunities seem to have kind of opened up for fresh faces, I mean, how tough is it
Right.
for a new talent on the block to kind of gain substantial roles?
Uh, I, I think it is very subjective, something like this, because every individual who aspires to become an actor or aspires to make a career in the film industry in India or anywhere else, as a matter of fact, I think it's a very subjective question, subjective question. Everybody has a different journey, so people think that I am a new face right now, but I'm actually not new face. I've been around
Mhm.
for almost 8 years now,
Yeah.
and my first big gig was a TV show on Channel V. The name of the show was Ishq Unplugged, and after that, Thugs of Hindustan happened, and then Bombers happened, and everything else happened. So in today's times, also, I'd say, considering if you take the pandemic in the picture, yeah, things have changed very much. Like how back when we used to, when I was new 7 8 years ago, I would just, get out of my house with my backpack and a couple of changes and, just hop on my bike and just go to the studios every day, knocking on door to door, asking them if I could test for an audition, I could test for a role, what the audition was for. Or, I would get, rejected n number of times. I mean, I can't even count the number of times right now. Uh, and then I mean there were helpful people around who would add us in the WhatsApp groups and this and that, so we would get information here and there, and it was fairly easier back then. I'd say if the pandemic did not happen, this same thing would be going on right now. But since the pandemic, things have drastically changed. Now we shoot auditions at home. So for
Mhm.
the new people, the whole idea, the whole opportunity of going out in the market and meeting the people, meeting the casting directors, meeting the people who give work, the people who cast actors, it's comparatively died down and reduced, very much because the studios are shut and work is happening, but everybody is working from home. Like right now, I've put my phone on this stand on which I shoot my auditions at home, right? So I'd say comparatively, yeah, if you exclude the pandemic from the picture, I'd say not much different.
Mm.
The struggle is still the same, the hard work is still the same. It's all about how good you are at selling yourself and how good you are at marketing yourself and how good of a talent you are. So if you're good, then work will find you, is what I
Mm.
think.
Absolutely, very, very well said. But when you decided to be an actor, what did you set out to achieve, and how has that mindset sort of been for you so far?
So acting was never planned. As in, back when I was in school, I never wanted to become an actor. I was nowhere close to thinking about it as well. I wanted to be like an animation director back then.
Oh wow.
I used to draw my own cartoons and all of that. So I had aspirations of making my own animated films, and I was inspired by Pixar and all of that. But as I progressed in college and as I was pursuing my graduation, I got involved in the extracurricular activities. I started taking part in drama competitions. I started taking part in fashion shows. I started being the actor in the short films we would shoot in our classrooms for our projects of different subjects that we were pursuing. I'm a student of mass media and I did my majors in advertising. So our external projects for external marks would be things like make an ad film, make a short film, direct a skit about something. So that's when that was the time I started taking part actively, being in front of the camera or being on stage, and I started to like the feeling of being in front of the camera and being on stage. All the accolades and all the attention you get and all of that. Apart from that, how you can actually influence somebody through your performance was also something which I really liked a lot, and I decided to give it a shot right after my graduation. I decided to pursue it full time, because I wasn't hired by anybody for a 9 to 5 job, as I did not have any experience. I gave quite a few interviews, but nothing cracked up.
Mm.
So I decided, well, I think I should just give it a shot, and I just started off with it. What did I set out to achieve? I had no idea back then. I just wanted to be in front of the camera. I just wanted to act, and I just wanted to, uh, become a part of the glamour industry, become a part of the whole world of acting and cinema. But as in how my journey progressed, I sort of realized that what I want to achieve is not probably stardom or fame or like becoming a millionaire or something. Like fame and money is sort of a byproduct of this profession. So that is not what I set out to achieve. I in fact realized that what I want to achieve is that I want to play different characters and play such characters that have an impact on the audience and the society as a whole.
Mm.
Being a part of stories that probably create a change, or at least try to create a change in the society, because somewhere or the other way it is needed, I feel. Even though we are living in a world where we say everything's dying down, everything is crashing down, but I feel that if there's X number of good people, there's also X number of bad people. There's a balance, but there's
Mm.
also a lot of things which need to be changed in the society, and I think cinema is the best medium to achieve that. It's one of the best mediums to achieve that. So what
Right.
I set out to achieve right now is what I feel that I just want to inspire people from the characters that I play, even if they are toxic men, even if they're toxic men, because I want
Mm.
people to know that such kind of men exist in our society, and we need to do something about it. And
Yeah.
being a part of different stories, where which could influence people's thinkings, people's mindsets, and bring about a change in the social fabric of the world.
Right. So it would be right to say that you want to play characters which have some sort of social importance, whether it's good,
Yes,
bad, or ugly. I think that's the sort
you
of
can say
character.
ugly. Absolutely.
Right. Okay. And obviously, I read in an interview, actually, when I was preparing for our chat today, Saqib, and I kind of read up, and apparently, you've fallen to quite a few stereotypes in the sense like that stereotype
Yeah.
has already happened with you, where people often associate you with very negative and dark characters, so to
Right.
speak, in a sense, whenever they see you or whenever you're offered something. What impact does that have on your psyche as an artist and as a person?
I am sort of enjoying it right now because as a person, I am absolutely not in the negative space at all. Like my life and my personality and everything is very much on the positive side of the of
Spectrum.
things, and
Hmm.
all the characters which I get approached for are like sort of in the gray area, in the dark areas, like a gangster or a junkie or or like a misogynist or like a male chauvinist, things like that, and probably a drunkard, probably a drug dealer, probably a junkie musician or a DJ, and I am sort of enjoying it because these are challenging roles because I am not these people in reality, and in some way or the other, my performances will also help have an impact on the people who watch them, and probably create some inspirations to the new budding actors who watch them, and I'm pretty sure that sooner or later different sort of characters will also fall in my lap. So I'm sort of enjoying what is coming my way right now.
Yeah,
I
and I
look
think
forward to it.
and I think you're in the right time as well because nowadays there's a lot more awareness about characters and people and personalities.
Absolutely.
So what's happening is now, like even if a great character comes, it's a bit more welcome than perhaps how it would have been maybe 10 years back when the digital platforms were not as strong as they are today as well.
Exactly.
Do you feel quite satisfied that you're here in this industry at this time as well, especially when you have so many fresh faces who are doing so well? Like last year, you had Tanya from A Suitable Boy, you had
Right.
Tripti from Bulbul, and so many fresh faces are coming up. Adarsh Gaurav from The White Tiger as well, who's incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I presume you must feel very like comforted to know that there's opportunities now out there for everyone and every
Yes,
race.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. I feel very fortunate that I started picking up at the same time when web is starting to pick up in the country right now. Although web did start to pick up more than probably 2 or 3 years ago, but I started to pick up just last year itself, and that's okay. I'm not very late to the party, but I have joined the party is what I feel, and
Yeah.
I look forward to what's coming ahead because. I have something interesting. I have a few interesting things lined up for the next 6 months, and I am pretty sure that the second half of the year would also have interesting things which would come my way. So, yeah, because and also that new and fresh faces and those unconventional faces are also being given a chance just based on their talent and not on their looks. Thanks to the OTT platforms, which are rising exorbitantly in the country right now, in India right now, especially.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I at a time when a lot of people are working with pay cuts and probably don't have a job, I have 3 or 4 jobs where I am trying to manage dates, which I feel extremely fortunate because probably 2 or 3 years ago I was not in that position,
Mm,
and I feel myself to
mm.
be fortunate where I am today, and I just look forward to what's going to happen next.
In fact, I'm glad you mentioned that. I mean, what kept you going at that point where you weren't perhaps as busy as you'd want to be, or perhaps not getting the
Right,
opportunities you wanted? How
right.
did you cope with that?
So I think first of all I'd like to thank my parents very much for that because I am from Bombay. I'm born and brought up here, so I live with them. Uh, my biggest inspiration and my biggest driving factor are the other people from the industry who are not from Bombay. There's assistant directors, there's directors, there's cinematographers, assistant cinematographers. There's so many actors, and there's so many people in the industry who are not from the city but who leave their houses, who leave their homes and come to a new city and live on rent. And Bombay is the most expensive city in India right now. And how they persevere and how they make it in the industry, and with all the obstacles that they have and all the problems that they have, they're on their own in a new city and trying to figure out the industry by themselves. So my idea, I would always tell myself that if these people can do it, I can do it as well. I just need to hang in there. you know
Mm,
i have a I have the support of my family, I have the support of my friends, I'm not in a city which is alien to me.
mm.
And if these people can leave everything behind and come here and pursue their dreams and make it,
Exactly.
so can
Mm.
I. So I mean, that was one of the things which kept me motivated, and my optimist attitude, I would say, also kept me very much motivated. And work would keep happening here and there because there were commercials that would happen at the time when I was not as busy, because I
Mm.
was just busy giving auditions, and I mean that takes like half a day. That doesn't take more than half a day of yours. And so money was not a problem because commercials were happening and money was flowing in, decent amount of money which could which helped me just take care of myself, bear my own
Right.
expenses. Yeah, so that's how the last few years were survived.
Wow. Yes. I mean, speaking of survival, and because we were obviously talking about the digital platforms rising, I mean, she was quite a highly anticipated series last year. I mean, I think it caught me by surprise because I didn't realize it was backed by Imtiaz Ali. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And because he'd always said that he wanted to work on the digital space, but jab she aaya, I was like, acha, yeah. Because I wasn't really,
Yeah.
because with the sort of narratives he's sort of, been a part of, they've been very like, I guess, philosophical and poignant and poetic. So I think it was quite a big
Yeah,
surprise.
exactly.
So obviously, in what way, if at all, did life change for you after she?
Uh, I'd say it changed in a very, very good and positive way because first of all, she came out at a time where the entire world went into lockdown, and
Yeah,
so
exactly.
so fortunately, people had no choice but to watch whatever was there, and she was the first show that came out just like I think 4 or 5 days before the lockdown officially was announced in India. And by that time, I think the UK and Europe and elsewhere, everything was already in lockdown. And So she came out to me as a surprise because everybody was watching it, even people who I did not expect would watch it were watching it. People from the industry were watching it. I remember when during the lockdown itself, right after like I think 3 or 4 days after she released, I got a call from another show. Got a call from another show for Netflix, which was a remake, which is going to be a remake of a popular show, which will probably come out this year. So during the lockdown, I got a call from them, and they were like, we saw you in She, and we want to test you. We want to test you for a primary character for, the so and so Netflix show, which is going to be
Wow.
remade now in India. A Spanish, it was a Spanish show. It's a Spanish show that's going to be remade in India now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I
I
mean,
think I
I
know.
don't think I should talk about it. I
I think
think
I know which
you might
one.
be knowing. Yeah, you probably might be knowing about that one. So since I'm not doing it, I would probably avoid talking about it as well. So I mean, during the lockdown, they called me up, and I was like, I think the entire country is in the lockdown, and how do you all think about how do you all what are you all thinking that how will you all make this show right now? They were like, no, we're just testing actors right now, and we'll see when the situation becomes more clear about as to what's going to happen in the future. We'll think about it. So right after she released, I got like a few audition calls here and there, and towards the end of the lockdown. I was giving a lot of auditions for like upcoming web shows, which probably I was not in back in 2019 and 2018.
Hmm.
So it got me noticed. It did get me noticed. Also, thanks to the lockdown, it did get me noticed.
Yeah, and this is why I keep saying that lockdown has been a big blessing, I think, in many ways to kind
Exactly,
of
exactly. It's
fresh
all about
actors.
perspective.
I know it's just really sad though that it's taken a pandemic and a lockdown for people to realize how talented some actors are who aren't, you know,
Exactly.
uh, sort of associated with other famous people in the industry. And I think that's something which I मुझे बहुत हैरानी होती है जब मैं सोचता हूँ. I mean,
Right.
does it kind of
Right.
baffle you as well a little bit when you kind of think about it and think, huh? It's taken a pandemic for
It
people
is.
to realize.
Exactly, it is sort of baffling, but then I think that's how the world functions. It always takes some sort of jhatka for people to realize, कि, oh, हाँ, I mean, ये सब भी है, and so which is, I mean, it's the way of the world. I think it is baffling, but then a lot of things in the world are baffling, which we can't unfortunately understand.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're right. Absolutely agree with that. I think future projects look extremely promising for you. And
Right,
I believe you're also working with Raj and DK, with Shahid Kapoor and Vijay Sentupati for like a project as well. Um,
right.
I know you're probably not allowed to tell me a lot about that because obviously it's all under wraps and
It's still
NDA
under
and
very much wraps. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all of
NDR,
that. I
stand
get
an NDA and all of that. Yeah.
yeah, I know that. I trust me. I've done enough interviews to kind of know कि वो answer आने ही वाला है. But I think because you've not worked with them before, what are you most excited about, especially working with someone like Shahid and Vijay, who are extremely talented and very pros at their craft as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I remember being a fanboy of Shahid because Shahid, around 10, 11 years ago when I was 18, Shahid used to work out in the same gym where I started working out, and I used to just look at him in awe and, like do my bicep curl star right next to him, and like sort of a fanboy. And like 10 years later, now I'm getting to work with him. So I'm very much excited. And I'm a big fan of Shahid. I mean, we've seen how good he is in his, since his all of his films, since Kamine, since Jab We Met, and Heather,
Yeah.
and even the last one, Kabir Singh, and all of them. So we all know how good he is. Vijay Sethupathi also, I mean, I don't think he needs an introduction. Everybody knows how good he is as well. And I am a big fan of Raj and DK since Go Goa Gone. So I'm very much excited to, for what they have in store for me. So apparently, from what I know, is my character is sort of a comic. It is sort of a comic role. So I will get to this is my chance to get out of that stereotype and show that I can also make people laugh, and
Mm.
so he has a comedy, he has a funny side to him, this guy, and he's an integral part of Shahid. And there's another guy who's going to be there, his Shahid's best friend. So these three people are some of, in a way, you can say the main characters of the story, and that's how the story is going to progress. And rest everything is not what I can tell you, and unfortunately, what the story is and what it's going to be about. But yeah, so the filming, I think they're going to begin filming by the start of the next month, and I'm going to join in March. So that is there. This is one project which I'm very much excited about because I'm going to be there in the second season as well, and hopefully, if the third season ever gets made, probably in that as well. Then there's the
Wow.
second season of She. Yeah, so one and two is locked, and probably if they'll make a third one, I don't know about it yet, so I'll be there in the third one as well. So that's there, and then there's second season of She, where I'm reprising my role of Hemant again,
Yeah.
and that's gonna also begin in March. And so that's also very much in under the pre-production right now, and I still have to get an idea about what the story is going to be in this season, and where do I see myself, and where does Imtiaz sir see Hemant in this season right now. So I had don't really have much idea about second season of She. Then there's another web show for alt Balaji which is called Main Hero Bol Raha Hu, which has there's this very famous TV actor whose name is Parth Samthan. He's got
Yes.
like huge ass fan following in India, and so he's the lead of the show, and I am in a supporting cast. This was a pre-pandemic show which had shut down because of the pandemic, and then we resumed in November to finish the filming. That is there. Then there's Brahmastra with
Yeah.
Ranbir and Alia. So I have one small schedule of for that remaining. I'm going to
Mm.
be. It's a song shoot, so I'm going to be dancing with Ranbir
Oh
and Alia.
wow.
That's what I'm excited about because it's gonna be like the first time I'm gonna properly dance, and dancing with Ranveer is gonna be it's gonna be difficult, but I look forward to it because he's a good dancer. We all know Ranveer is a fabulous dancer, and I think that's left. That is the three. These are the three four major projects.
But this because you were talking about that work that you're doing with Shahid and Vijay. Is it on Netflix or is it on Amazon? Which
It's gonna
platform?
be on Prime. It's gonna be on
Amazon
Prime.
Prime. Oh,
Right,
fantastic, great.
right,
Amazon Prime
right.
have been on a real good spree actually with
They're
some
on a
great
roll. They're
content.
on a roll, and they're coming out with good content.
I think I'd agree as well. But listen, when is Brahmastra coming out? I feel like it's been like an eternity. It's taken like a pandemic and like different presidents changing and still Brahmastra has not released.
Is not finished yet. So hopefully, I think this year by the end of before the end of the year. In fact, I hope it comes out by Diwali. I hope it comes out by Diwali because there's not much left yet. There's not much left yet, of course. I shot for my first schedule back in 2018, and now I'm shooting for my second schedule in 2021. So you can imagine the delay it's gone through. And also, I think there were a lot of date issues, and actors were doing probably two or three films, and then there are some other issues which caused the delay. But the film will be completed this year, definitely, that's for sure, because
Yeah.
everything is all set. Whatever that's left to shoot is all set. Our dates have been locked, the locations have been locked, and
Hmm.
so hopefully by the middle of the year, I think we should complete it, and along with the edit and everything, I hope latest by Christmas and earliest by Diwali is my hope. And
Wow.
sooner or later we'll get the news officially when they plan to do it.
I mean, it's quite a big opportunity. I mean, because obviously, I mean, of course, you've got Ranbir and Alia who are fab, and then I think you
Yeah.
have, is it Mr. Bachchan who's in it as well? You have Dimple Kapadia,
Currently,
you
yes,
have
Mr. Bachchan as well. Yeah.
Nagarjuna, I mean, Moni Roy, so many incredible talents. I mean, what was it
Right.
like working on this genre and kind of working with them actually? Because it's quite different. We've not seen an ensemble of this kind probably since
Right.
I don't know when. I think it's been a while since we've
It's
seen.
been a long time. It's been a while. It's been a while. Like right, maybe Rajniti. Something like Rajniti was the last
Oh,
film
Dil
that
Dharak
was an
Mein Do. I'd
ensemble with
probably
Raj.
say Dil Dharak.
Or Dil Dhadakne Do. Or Dil
Yeah.
Dhadakne Do. Right. So I'll tell you that I unfortunately did not get to work with any of them except Ranbir and Alia because I am only in the initial 30 minutes of the film,
Okay.
and after that my character ends because the place where the story starts, Ranbir does not stay in that place throughout, so he leaves. So
Acha.
the story begins in Bombay, and Ranbir then leaves Bombay, and he embarks on a journey, and that is where the other actors you just mentioned they come in the picture. So my
Wow.
part is just there when Ranbir is in Bombay, and that's the initial 25-30 minutes of the film.
Wow.
So that's why unfortunately I did not get to work with the likes of Nagarjun and Dimple Ma'am, but I have worked with Mr. Bachchan in Thugs, so that is
Yes.
one thing I am fortunate of. That's
Yeah.
one fortunate about, and I'm very grateful and happy about it. I have ticked one thing from my bucket list, about that was working with Mr. Bachchan, which most of the actors just dream of, and probably it never comes true.
Absolutely. Oh wow. I think Sakib, this is it. I think the phase that you're working towards is perhaps what every actor wants. And the fact that you're
Exactly.
getting so many great opportunities, I think it's so exciting. And I'm sure you must be feeling very fueled up for 2021 as well, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm very much fueled up because I think it's long due since I've just been, uh, going through, so much, and just trying and hustling and struggling and all of that, and it's all coming to light now. It took a pandemic, but it is coming to light now slowly and steadily. It all started with, I think, Thugs. I would say my optimism also grew after Thugs, because I was like, since I'm working with a big brand like YRF and Yash Raj Films, and then Imtiaz Ali sir followed, and then and then Dharma followed, and then Raj and DK have followed up now, and then Netflix followed as well along with it. Now I know that I'm going in the right direction, and I look forward to giving it my all with all the opportunities that I have, which can just help me get more and more and more better characters to perform in the future.
Indeed, and I think it will just make it more exciting as well, because next time we speak, we'll be like, "Ah, yaad hai, we were talking about this."
Oh yeah, that'll be like a nostalgic moment, right?
Yeah,
When we do that.
absolutely, truly, truly. But Saqib, very exciting times, and I think we're all waiting with bated breath for your projects. And I just want to say a huge, huge thank you for joining me on Filmy Shilmi, and I can't wait to catch up with you again near the time of the releases as well.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much, Anuj, for having me. And I'm glad we did this, even though it took us a little bit of time here and there. But I'm glad this happened, and I'm looking forward to the edited interview, which you're gonna finally let out.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for
absolutely.
having me, man.
Lovely. No, my pleasure. Thank you, Saqib. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care, Anuj. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.